Good afternoon. I'm Z, and you're listening to the Bryant Consulting Show. We're on season one, episode 8. We're still here. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Juneteenth celebration and Father's Day 2021. My co host, Mr. Bright, will be moderating the show with me tonight. How are you doing today, Mr. Bright?
I'm doing fine. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here today.
All right. Anything you want to say in the introduction of the show?
I'm just your friendly neighborhood youth mentor, life coach.
Awesome. So it's a pleasure to have you here tonight, Mr. Bright, on the show, like always. And I appreciate you for taking out the time for the show today. Um, like every show, I like to always say that someone in the world may be motivated or inspired by your story today. So, once again, anyone listening actually or watching in the future or the present, thank you. At Bryant Bright Consulting, we're all about the people in the world and assisting others with obtaining their personal life and or their company goals and getting their life on the path to greatness. You're the CEO of your own life, so start making those decisions today that drive the vision you've always dreamed of. We're all about improving, innovating, and sustaining your best life here at Bryant Bright Consulting. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the show. I always like to start off with the would you rather questions. Are you ready for these this week?
Yes. Send them.
Oh, before we get started, I'd like to say happy Father's Day to all the fathers in the world.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. My first would you rather question is going to be would you rather be the funniest person in the room or the smartest person in the room? Hmm. What do you think, Mr. Bright?
Oh, that's interesting. Uh, I think I'd rather be the smartest person in the room. That way, if I have to dumb down to be funny, I could dumb down. But if I'm funny, I can't dumb up to be smart.
Well, you know what? That sounds pretty good, but I do know some pretty intelligent, smart people with sense of humors and very comedic. So, well, that's a good point. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
that's a good.
ahead and say, huh?
Yeah, that's a good one. They're interesting.
Anything else to say about that one?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say what I do with the would you rather be the funniest person in the room or the smartest person in a room? Of course, I'd rather be the smartest person in the room. It would be nice and cool to be the funniest person in the room, but I have to go with what you said. Hey, you can be the funniest person, but if you're very funny and hilarious, sometimes people don't even look at you or even think about you as being that smart, intelligent type of person because it's so busy with the hilarious comedic style of your personality. So a lot of times they don't take you serious. I mean, as a comedian fan, and I know you are too, we love and listen to a lot of comedy shows. We're always going to those and listen to all types of funny videos and movies by different comedians. So, with that being said, I know that they're individuals and they can be smart in the same sense, even though that they're funny. But a lot of times we don't even take those people seriously because they're just so hilarious. When we hear their name or when we see them, we think of something that they did that's funny, and that overshines the intelligent aspect of people sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. I also I believe one more thing that sometimes you gotta separate the funniness, between seriousness. You have to be serious at some point, and if you're always funny, then
Mm-hmm.
you have to do the right thing in life and be productive, and that's not all the time funny at all times. So you have to concentrate and focus on what's really really important sometimes.
That's true. You always have that serious side of things. And when it comes to life, I mean, yeah, it'll be great for everything to be all light and funny and exciting and hilarious all the time. But that's just not reality because you have those certain situations to where you have to be serious and you can't be funny, or it could offend someone or someone could take it personal because it's just not that type of moment. That funny is what people are going to be intaking depending on, or wanting to intake depending on the situation at hand and what's currently going on. So that's what makes comedy and being funny dangerous sometimes.
Exactly right. Yeah. Sometimes it's you too seriously. They always will think of you as a court jester or a clown, and you
Yeah.
can't get that stereotype taken away from you.
Oh, you can.
So you have to be careful.
Yeah, that's what they say. Perception is everything. And that's why I'm saying that, hey, it would be great to be that funny person, but then people are going to always expect you to be funny. And then when you all of a sudden have to get serious because it's not a funny moment, then people are going to be like, what happened? Or they might not even take you serious because they're so used to being funny, or hilarious all the time. So that's something to the debate. So I think that was a pretty good would you rather question there.
Yes, it can go on and on forever because there's a lot of attributes to that.
Hmm. All right, so I'm going to do the second one and then we'll be moving on to our first topic tonight. Um, would you rather people knew all the details of your finances or all the details of your love life? What do you think, Mr. Bright?
I would rather have the people know all the details of my love life and not know the details of my finance because your love life can change.
Yes.
And you're like, no, that's not true.
Hmm.
But your finances, right, that's important. You need to have some type of secret for yourself to replenish your assets, or uh, you need money to make money. So that's it for that.
Okay. For me, would I rather have people know all the details of my finances or all the details of my love life? That's a good one. Your finances can change also,
Hmm.
but I still wouldn't want people to know all the details of my finances or my love life, because those are two personal things. But if I'd have to pick between the two,
Hmm.
I would say my finances, because my love life,
Hmm.
I believe in that being something sacred and something to cherish and hold and be special to you. And sometimes people don't want people to know about the details of their love life. A lot of people don't. It's pretty personal. It can get pretty deep.
Mm-hmm.
But your finances, that's just money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the money, it's,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you need it. But, just like you say, your love life can change, your finances can change at any time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sounds
I
good.
would do
Yeah.
the finances. Yeah. I would say, hey, here's my
Mm-hmm.
finances. Because guess
Yeah. It
what?
sounds.
Whatever you give them of your finances is your finances. But what you give them in your love life, it's as deep an expressionative or personal that no one really knows about. You might not want people to know about that. Because if they can get into your love life, they may be able
Yeah.
to tap into some things to be able to attack you in certain ways. And mentally attack you, emotionally attack you, or something like that. But those personal details. Now, when it comes to your finances, though, a lot of people, well, not a lot, some people are very personal about their finances. If you find out, they'll be pretty hurt and upset, depending on who you are in your finances, and if you really care. But, like what I'm thinking is with finances, they can always change. It can get good. Well, excuse me, it can get better. Um, they can rise, they can decline, they can increase, they can decrease. So with something like that, yeah, no one would really be able to attack you. If that's something that you take personal and it's a way that they can use your finances against you to attack you, then yeah, you wouldn't want people to know about your finances. Yeah. What do you think? Anything else about that one?
It sounds good.
Which part?
No, I think you hit it right on the nail. That's pretty specific and smart. You have to make a decision.
You do. I mean, that's the whole thing of the would you rather. You think about it, analyze, and decide why would you choose that besides the other,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And your answer is not always going to be the same as everybody
Yeah.
else's because we're all different people and we all have our different opinions and we're all different, living different lives, excuse me, and we're all in different situations. So, yeah.
That's
All
good. That's a
right.
part of life.
That's it. That's what life is about. So what I'm gonna do is pull up the our article for today. Anything you want to talk about in the meantime while I'm doing that?
Uh, it seemed like you had a little distortion there, but it's okay now. But
Does it sound like some
I just like
distortion
to.
now?
No, it's clear now. I just
Okay.
like to. I just like to thank you. For inviting me, giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts of the important, facts and stuff, that we're going through. I appreciate that.
You're welcome anytime, Mr. Bright. You're always welcome to the Bryant Bright Consulting Show. Okay, so our topic is
And,
Juneteenth. Juneteenth celebration. So we just got
all
that
right.
approved to be a federal holiday. Let me see what day was that? Thursday. Yep. So we've been
Mm-hmm.
celebrating Juneteenth all our life. So this is it's a surprise for a lot of us to that have been celebrating this for many years of our lives to finally see this as a federal holiday. Many different people have their opinions on it becoming a federal holiday. Some people like it, some people don't like it. Um, Some people say it's a good thing. Some people say it's a bad thing. But I don't see anything wrong with making the federal holiday out of a holiday that we've been celebrating for years, pretty much all of our lives. What do you think about that, Mr. Bright?
Oh, I think it's okay. I think we can. Anything is great, man. Just that anything that we accomplish and achieve, and it's brought to the front line, I think is excellent. And now we can piggyback off of that and get more of what we really, really want. So I think it's okay. Everything that's coming our way that's good, like Juneteenth
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that, or monuments or statues of figures or our leaders, I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
Wrap it up, I'll take it. Yeah, but then we can
So
piggyback off of that and accomplish more, So we on the verge.
we're on the rise, huh?
Yeah, on the rise.
All right. So Juneteenth means independence and freedom for us African Americans in the United States of America because of what our ancestors struggled through. So President Joe Biden signed
Yep,
into law.
that's great, because we need that great.
We need great what?
Go ahead.
You were talking.
No, I said it's great. We need great images like that.
Mm-hmm.
Continue on.
I'm here.
Oh, I was just saying that it's great, that we have a good images of holidays and stuff that's coming to the forefront for our people to gravitate to and have better self-esteem and respect for themselves. And I'm all for that. And I just think it's great.
Yes. So I was saying that President Joe Biden signed it into law, the bill recognizing Juneteenth as a federal holiday known as Juneteenth National Independence Day. He said that great nations don't ignore their most painful moments. Great nations don't walk away. We come to terms with the mistakes we made, and remembering those moments, we begin to heal and grow stronger. Mm, well, that is great that they finally
Yeah.
signed something
I
like
think
that
we
into
are
law.
a new nation. Yeah.
What was that?
I was just saying that I think we are a new nation, only several hundred years old, and we just learning how to get along with everybody, and things are coming to pass because we just a new nation. Several hundred years is not that long ago. 100 years is not that long ago. And it's just
Several
everything is
hundred?
coming to the forefront. I just
Is it
recognize
several hundred or
several
400?
hundred folks.
Is it
It's not
400 plus years or
several
only several hundred?
several hundred,
Yeah, not several. It can't be. Not if it's 400
400
plus.
years. But I'm saying, yeah, I'm just saying that our great grandparents was back in those days, and that's not too far.
Yep, and that's what President Joe Biden said when he established the Juneteenth as a national holiday. He said, "We have come far and we have far to go, but today is a day of celebration." That's what Kamala Harris said. Juneteenth marks both the long, hard night of slavery and subjugation and the promise of that brighter morning to come. It's a day of profound weight and power. Today and every day, we must work to ensure our nation finally lives up to its promise of equality for all, he said on Twitter. When you're saying equality for all, to me, that sounds like reparations, but this is just a notch of something that can be done and things that we can do to move forward and progress. Because, yeah, you're right, Mr. Bright. We haven't come forward all. We have a long way to go. And when you're talking about financial equality, only thing I can think of is the reparations. That can get someone to that point. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I also think that we can speed it up. We can expedite things if we all just come together with a common denomination of just pooling out all our money together and just buy something for ourselves. You never know what can happen. We probably can buy a state. You never know until you get enough money together, and we do have money. So let's get together and let's buy something. Let's buy a town. Let's buy a city. Let's elevate. But first and foremost, people have to become like-minded. Want to do something for uh, togetherness. To have our let's have a Afro downtown, black town like Chinatown. I don't know. We can do that. We make enough money. So
That's what they
the
call Atlanta.
Juneteenth just leads to better things coming down.
That's what they call Atlanta, the Black Mecca.
Yeah, but they're not trying to reach everybody. Everybody has to be reached and come with a common way of doing things with togetherness. We're still separate. Atlanta's Atlanta, so they have to get with the rest of the people in Michigan and all the rest of the states to come together and pool their money together. This is a capitalistic nation. So let's capitalize our money together and to get the things that you want. If you want it, put your money together. Let's get it. Leave
There
those
are many
distractions
people that are
alone.
doing that.
Leave them behind in the past.
Excuse me. And there are many people working together, coming together to put their money together that are of color, African Americans. They're purchasing properties, building neighborhoods. They're working on a little bit by little bit, but those individuals obviously built some type of relationship to be able to trust each other to get involved in those type of things, because there's always that trust issue in the back of people's mind when it comes to being black and working with other black individuals. You know how hard we have it, not just systematic wise as black people, but we're dealing with our own people also. So, do you think that we should start working on trust and building relationships to be able to come together?
Yes, for sure, for certainly. Yeah, we should build trust and try to come together. Um, Try new strategies. Try to implement things that the parents is going to do for the children across the board, like take away on, I don't know, take on education, help the educations of the U.S. by educating our folks at home first. Start somewhere. Don't ignore the fact that we live in beautiful, lavish streets paved with gold America. Uh, you know, don't just go back and reiterate to your children to get them to not think about that as luxuries, and just try to form some type of strategy to get what you really want. We got to find out what we really want. If we're not happy, we got to find a way to become happy, find our dreams, and see where we want to go for the next level, for the next 10 years. See where we want to go.
Sounds great, Mr. Bryant. Now, while Black Americans are rejoicing at Juneteenth becoming a federal holiday, many say that far more is needed to combat systematic or systemic racism. Republican states have signed into law or are weighing legislation that advocates said would limit voting rights, especially for persons of color. Meanwhile, legislation that would ramp up voting rights and enact the policy reforms called for following the murder of George Floyd and deaths of Black Americans at the hands of the police um, have stagnated in Congress. The federal recognition of Juneteenth comes amid GOP officials across the U.S. trying to ban schools from teaching critical race theory, as well as the history of slavery and the effects of systemic racism. So, that's been going on a lot recently. They've been talking about that a lot, and basically they're saying we need Congress to protect voting rights, and that needs to happen right now so we don't regress any further. But also people been talking a lot about these critical race theory changes that are going on right now in the educational institutions. So that's something that's changing a lot of things and bringing up a lot of topics. And I think it's getting us closer and closer to um, reparations. I think that because now with this Juneteenth being recognized as a federal holiday, it's like they're taking each step, a little bit of step at a time to get to that point. But it's not going to be easy. It's not going to happen overnight. You know.
Yep, of course. Yep, I understand. And yes, it means everybody has to be a little proactive into trying to reach their goal. You're gonna have to set aside some time. People don't want to do that, especially our folks. They want to, I don't know, shop, get into adventure, but you're gonna have to take a step back and be serious, and concentrate on your own family first, and just focus on your children to keep them from getting in harm's way, and educate them at home before they go to school. Take some of the techniques that they say that you can educate your children before they born. You can teach them in the home. Take advantage of those accolades, and start taking some own responsibility. Start taking some own accountability of your own folks, and stop trying to be joyous all the time. I mean, it's a time for that. We have holidays to be joyous, but between those times, we need to be considering the importance of just training our people up to love each
Mm-hmm.
other, and make big, large monuments that will freeze in our minds about our own self,
Mm-hmm.
so we can start understanding our own self to move forward and be uh, accountable and profitable.
Mm-hmm. Now, speaking about that critical race theory, I'm just going to explain a little bit about it before we move to the next topic. Do you know exactly what it's about? Have you heard about? I know you've been hearing about it.
I, I heard about it, but I think I forgot a little bit about it. But I got my own reasons to do. But yeah, explain it to me because I just want to take accountability and just start doing the righteous thing. But yes, go ahead and explain that critical race theory thing,
Okay,
please.
so what's going on with that, and why everybody is talking about it, is four states have now passed legislation that would limit how teachers can discuss racism, sexism, and other controversial issues. So it's Republican lawmakers' latest effort to rein in the approach to subjects that they claim are divisive and inappropriate, basically. So the legislation passed so far in Idaho, Iowa, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and it bans teachers from introducing certain type of concepts in the classroom when it's discussing racism, sexism, or any other controversial issue. So among those are is one, the race or sex is inherently superior. That any individual is consciously or unconsciously racist or sexist because of their race or sex, and that anyone should feel discomfort or guilt because of their race or sex. So, governors in Idaho and Oklahoma recently signed this bill into law. So bills in Iowa and Tennessee are also awaiting the governor's signatures. And a similar law is also passed in Arkansas, though it only applies to the state agencies and not the public schools. So they're trying to get this critical race theory not only in the public schools, but in the state and government agencies also. And remember, I think they were talking about putting it in the military also, didn't they say something like that?
Yeah, I remember that. I heard that. Yeah, no, I don't believe in that myself. I believe that uh, those stuff like that should come from the home, and
Mm-hmm.
um, it's not their burden government to be doing that stuff because it's just going to add confusion, and everybody's different. They need to be taught. This is a melting pot. People need to
Mm-hmm.
learn from their own parents to know how to operate and move around in our environment. The critical race theory, from what you said, they're gonna be delving in conversations about sex and stuff, and that's not their right. I mean, I think it's just a distraction. I think it's unnecessary. People need to get confident and accountable, and we know that stuff off top in our own heads. We need to just speak up and teach that to our own kids before they go to school. And if they want to reiterate on that in school, they can. But our children, our people need to be familiar about that before they to school or while they're going in the primary stages of school, because they might end up telling somebody something that the other people just don't believe in it, because a lot of people believe in a lot of different things around here, different religious, different background. This is the melting pot, so you're gonna have to be consistent with the melting pot. And the parents teach the stuff like that at home, and once they go to school, they can compromise and come up with something.
See,
But but
supporters of
I
these
think it's just
laws,
a distraction.
let me tell you what the supporters of these laws
Go
say.
ahead.
They say that they're designed to get the schools to stop teaching critical race theory, an academic framework that examines how racism has shaped the U.S. legal system. And they saying that the teachers have adopted this its tenets and are teaching about race, gender, and identity in ways that sow division among the students. So yeah, like you said,
Well, I
hey,
think they
It
I
should be
think
done
they
at
should.
home, but it's in the classroom. The teachers are putting it in the course room, and you know, if there's no laws against that stuff, then it can happen.
Yeah. And those people not familiar. They might not even know what they're talking about, man. They're not from different parts of the area, the neighborhood. They don't. These people are not don't have a PhD in the Italian segregation or Chinatown. These people don't not experiencing that. They're gonna have to get if they're gonna teach whatever they're gonna teach. They need that certain type of person there that knows about that. These people don't know nothing about what's going on in these different neighborhoods. They have to come to the neighborhood to see what's going on and take that back to the classroom to teach it appropriately, or
Mm-hmm.
access help from the people in the neighborhood. It's just like policemen coming to your neighborhood to arrest people. It would be very helpful, say if you go to have people that know about your neighborhood to come and arrest you, than people that don't know about your neighborhood. They're gonna be like, no, this is not right. While the people that live there be like, no, we do this all the time. So it helps to have a history of what's going on. If these new people just got employed and stuff, don't know what's going on, they can't teach it appropriately.
Because also they were saying that many teachers say that they fear that such legislation will stifle the discussion of how racism and sexism has shaped the country's history and continue to affect it presently by threatening educators with the possibility of legal action. And scholars of critical race theory have said that the laws mischaracterize the framework. So there's so many people that have opinions on this and what they're trying to do. Even there's one guy that he says, I don't know whether or not I'm going to have the academic freedom as an African American male to tell the truth. He said, the guy Lawrence Lane, a high school government and world history teacher at Chicota High School in Oklahoma. It says that similar proposals are working their way through the legislators in other states too. In Arizona, there's a bill that would fine teachers $5,000 for promoting one side of the controversial issue just passed that house. So they're trying to stop teachers from bringing up the details about racism and sexism and colorism and all that stuff and systematic racism and gender inequality and all that stuff. And they're trying to prevent them from bringing it up in the classroom and not having that freedom because it's been happening a lot. I know I've seen many news reports and stories where children have had instances where they were called bad names at their school because they were black, or they've made them cut their hair off and all types of crazy things because they didn't want them having those ethnic hairstyles at those schools. So it's so
Yeah.
much stuff going on. So that kind of law is going to prevent that. But even though there's a law enacted to prevent those things to be talked about and said, and certain things to be done, they're not talking about the things that they're doing. They're not talking about stopping that, but just the conversations what they're talking about with this legislation. But even though there's that legislation in there, is it really going to change things and help things and prevent things from getting out of hand? When at a time that we are here momently at this time in this present moment, excuse me, in history, is he going to really change anything or help anything to make things better and go in that direction that we need to?
No, I don't think so. I think, well, it's all kind of confusing to me, but I think that they're trying to hide the transparency. I think they should let it all out, tell what's really going on, right? That way, this is the melting pot. See, they need to tell the truth and be transparent about everything, because and make a new strategy. And the strategy is that Americans love America. So if you tell the truth, that don't mean they gonna flee because they love America so much. They're gonna just find another way to cope and get along. So yeah, tell the truth. Everybody know the truth anyway, so tell the truth so we can get on with finding another way to get along, because ain't nobody gonna flee because
So you
the truth is
saying
being
that
told, because people love America so much.
so you saying that you know what, they shouldn't be putting this critical race theory legislation in to stop the truth from being known. Let them teachers tell the truth. Is that what you're saying? Let the organizations tell the truth about the story.
Yes,
Let them
let's
know and teach them about systematic racism
yes
and
yes
all that stuff.
yes, tell the truth, because
Maybe
everybody
it'll
knows,
help.
man. Everybody
That's what
know
you're thinking.
why they here. Yeah, well, tell the truth, because well, they say the truth will set you free, but I don't think nobody's gonna flee America because of that. People, we love America. We love
It
the
ain't
stuff we
that
get in
I don't
America,
think
that we
that they
do in America.
I don't think that they think we're gonna flee. I think that they're thinking that it's gonna just, that if people do that, it's gonna cause more problems because there's a lot of problems already.
No, no, no.
It's
It's not gonna cause more problems. We have problems right now. It ain't gonna cause more problems. It's probably make it get better. You need to
hmm,
tell the truth, because we already down to the wire.
hmm. I heard that,
Tell the
and they
truth.
trying to push it back, huh?
We
That's
already
what they
down to
doing.
the wire. Yeah,
And
trying to
you're
push
saying
it
that's what
back.
they
Tell it.
trying to
We
do. They trying to
already
push
know,
it back.
man.
They trying to push it back more further.
Yeah, yeah. They're trying to cover it up, man. See, they trying to
uh,
cover it up or whatever they try, but everybody individually really know what's going on. They know if they're not happy. You
uh-huh.
know, what we want to get to what's gonna make us happy. So we need to
Yes.
talk about it. We know that we love America, love to resolve things. So let's talk about it, and let's resolve it, because hey, people, hey, we love America, man. The people
Mm-hmm.
that went and fought for these wars, right? Not that they wanted to go fight, but they went and fought because they decided to go fight, and all they had in their mind was, hey, we can't wait till we get back home. So you don't want to live over there. Everybody loves America. I'm not saying it's a real good thing, but it's where you built up stuff at in America, and you want to go to familiar grounds. So yeah, tell the truth. A lot of people know what's going on. I mean, if you don't do that, people gonna still be whispering. So get rid of those rumors and put it out on the table. What's gonna happen? That's not happening already. People are already fighting. People are already doing catastrophes in the workplace and in other places and on the beaches and everywhere. How bad can it get? It can't get no worse than it is. I mean, that's just nature of the beast, So set it
Your
out.
favorite word,
Try to hit it off at the
worser.
past. Oh, hit it off at the past.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
understand what you're saying. And I think that,
yeah, go.
if that's what's going to take for things to get better for us to have those conversations and bring up those topics so people can understand why a certain race of people are financially impacted and disadvantaged, why not? Why not tell the story? I know that's what
Why
everybody
not?
loves. It's a
Tell the
great
story.
story, a wonderful story we all can listen to so we can know the truth at hand and the reason why.
Other yeah, you're right.
So I agree with
Other
you,
than
Mr.
that,
Bright, on that part.
mhm. Other than that, everything else will seem skeptical.
Hmm. So what I'm gonna do
Yeah.
next is pull up our screen for our next topic. Great great conversation.
Yeah. We
But that's
trying to
just something
find
that has
remedies
to be
and
talked
put,
about, you know?
yes, we trying to find solutions to put band-aids on this for remedies, but not band-aids. We want to find the remedies to go
Yeah, don't
forward.
say
If we put
band-aid.
it
We
out,
tired of
I don't think
band-aids.
anything. Yeah, we tired of band-aids.
No more
Yeah,
band-aids.
no more band-aids.
It's time for some resolutions, and it's time to fix those issues and problems. So,
I agree.
yeah. So, thank you for your input on that. That
I
was a
mean, we
great
have
topic.
strong. Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm listening to you.
Oh, I'm just saying we have strong, thick skin, and we are survivalists because we still here, and we can take it. Just put it out on the
Hmm.
table. Nobody's going to run. We love America. Just put it out on the table so we can continue to love America while it's still here.
Yeah. So, if you have nothing else to say about that topic, we're moving on to the next topic, which will be about Father's Day 2021. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I hope you're having a wonderful Father's Day. And also happy Juneteenth too. But it's a big special happy Father's Day for all the fathers out there. And take it away, Mr. Bright. You have the stage. You have the soapbox.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. um, I think that it is important to celebrate Father's Day, for the tremendous impact that it has on our children. Um, Again, I'd like to say thank you for inviting me, giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts of the important impact that Father's Day or fathers have on the children. I was thinking before in detail about the descriptions of a father, the attributes and skills of a father before coming on the show. And I came up with several attributes that I think or that I believe that a father should have. And so, I just like to start off with, let's start off with number one. I got several ones. Let's start off with number one. Number one, what I think the attributes of a good father is, well, I like to say God is our father for first and foremost. And I just want to say that I also grew up without a father in my home, like most of a lot of young men have. So when I was younger, I attempted to use any step. Well, I use I tend to use any people that came in my life, men like stepdads that would come into my life. I tend to use them to try to see what a man would be like. Try to go into manhood. So I would use stepfathers because I had stepfathers because my father was in my life. I would use uncles. I would use cousins for guidance to grow into manhood. My uncle was my uncle. I had one uncle. He was the main source of learning manhood for me. He inspired me, and I really liked that. But he already had his plate full with 7 kids of his own. And to make a long story short, the rest of the men that I tried to follow, all I got saying was jokes and cliches and things about how to keep women down. I'm being for real. And just those was just not enough for me. I still felt inadequate in some of those attributes that formed me, but it was just not enough because the other men that I tried to gravitate to in my life, besides my uncle and cousins, these men was unapproachable. I don't know why, but they were unapproachable. They would tell me, "Get away, go on, boy." But I wanted to be a fair and righteous person of a man. So I would, so only thing I had was to call on God when I felt the desperate need. I would call on Him to get out of trouble. But all the time, most of the time, He ignored me. God ignored me because, all I had was God to call on, and He ignored me because I ignored God. So all I had was God to call on, who was always there to be called upon. So, so that's why I say God is a father. And the second thing I had was for fathers to be a good father is that I believe a good father will be a type of man that will be an enforcer. Therefore, I believe a father's job is to transfer the enforce of standards and promises and arrangement that goes with the family principles to the next generations. I think that is when the father is. Uh, I think that the father, in modern terms, right, in modern terms, need to vibe with the mother to show your children how to be the best version of themselves, and the father strongly reiterates repetitively, watch the children with concern to steady to keep them on the right track. And so I think the father should like I say, vibe with the mother, to learn and teach the children how to be a family unit, and talk about strategies to engage them in, to make it interesting and make it like real life. So you just don't talk to your children about surface conversations. Get in their mind and ask them, deeper questions. It don't take that too much logic to not to do that, and get into real conversation. So, and in addition to that, just include to your children, a father must just include to their children how much you really love them and what you would do and how far you would go to keep them safe. You got to tell them that because they can't read your mind. So a good father has to be conversational and just let them know at the minimum that you love them. You don't want to see no harm come to them. And that, hey, if you have to put discipline on them to curb their bad habits, you're doing it out of love. And those things are not hard to do. You just got to find a way to get to your children, to be present with them in the moment, not away working and ignoring them. You got to sit down and just say, hey, son, daughter, children, I love you. And I will discipline you because I'm trying, I don't want you to have bad habits. And you just got to make a way to talk to your children. Some people try to make excuses not to talk to their children. Talking about, I can't get to see my children for some unreasonable circumstance. But if your children want to see you, I believe you can always make time to see your child. Just go by and see them. Uh, they in different places. You can see them at random, and the children want to see you. So I just think that enforcer, the father as an enforcer, need to try to go see their child if they have no money or if they have a lot of money. It's your responsibility. After all, it's your child. You can't say you don't have a say so in talking to your child. You just got to do it respectfully and harmfully. Don't get caught up with aggression and all that. Just do the right thing and see everybody harmfully.
You mean
And another,
harmlessly?
a third, harmlessly. I'm sorry, harmlessly. You're right.
I'm sorry.
And the third
Continue.
attribute, and the third attribute I think that a father should have would be this is just my opinion. Don't forget where you come from. I think that's really important.
Say that again.
We weren't born adults. We was not born adults. We were children at first. So we shouldn't forget where we come from. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
important as a father to remember your childhood, good or bad. Because I think you need to imply that you that happened in your childhood to raise your children now, to raise them well, to protect them, to guard them, and to defend them, and to prevent them from being influenced or led blindly by the people in the streets who unfortunately the people in the streets who unfortunately does not have what your child have. That is a father figure. So I think it's important for a father to just try to influence your children, because if they go out in the streets, you don't know what they're getting. They might be led by the blind leading the blind. So to have some structure, the father needs to be there for their children and instill some love and some sensitivity to them to show you that you care for them and that you're looking out for them and that whatever happens to them, you are concerned. And number four, I would think that another attribute of a good father would be character and skills. I put them together. That's my opinion. Character and skills to step into the role of a father. So that could mean becoming a stepfather. I believe you come into the family. I mean, you can come in as a stepfather if the biological father is not around, and that uh, you come into the family to better the situation in the family that you're coming into. In that family that you're coming into will win by uh, your new family, flourishing your new family, or giving your new family that you're stepping into as a stepdad love first, love and protection. That way they would know off top, and it would make it plain to see that they can appreciate and tolerate you off top. If you come in as a stepfather when the biological father is absent, give them love and protection, and off top they can see that you are genuine, you're willing to protect them. Don't give them nothing else first but love and protection. And I just think that unfortunately it's a breach between fathers and children when children grow up without their biological father. That's why the stepfather has to come in. And when he comes in, he's going to be a stranger. He's going to be a foreigner. But to have people gravitate to you and win the family over, you have to give them love and protection off top. That way they can say, well, he said he loves us and he's protecting us, and we're willing to stand by that until something else comes down the pipe. So that takes place of the biological father if he's not there. Or sometimes, and then again, sometimes unfortunately, you have unblessed fathers and stepfathers that have never received those character skills. that blessing, blessing skills that bless, so they don't know. So the stepfathers coming into the role, and the fathers also, they don't know what to do to transfer. They don't know what to transfer to their children. That's why some of the stepfathers and fathers may need spiritual fathers. They need to get some heartwarming skills, because they might not know how to transfer character skills to their children. They probably be messed up from their previous parents or something. You never know. But uh, ones that help make make arrangements to see their, you have to make arrangements. Say if you're a stepfather, don't deny the children arrangements to see their biological father. As long as you do it in a safe manner without aggression, whenever the needs arises, and understand that the children are our future and not our. And the children they may need to see their biological father. Let them see their biological father, as long as it doesn't harm, as long as it's harmless and doesn't cause aggressions. Let them children see their biological father, and they need that. After all, you are the stepfather. You got something to add, and their biological fathers may have something to add. Just make sure you do it safely without aggression, and you'll be all right. Then it's another thing about fathers. We hear a lot of things that we have national fathers, fathers that America, the country that we live in, have constructed. And we went to Washington, D.C., we've seen those monuments, those huge, oversized monuments. And when it's that huge, those monuments, how can you miss that? Our fathers have to remain vertical and think huge. So everywhere we go, we can bury in our minds how great our how great our fathers are. So we need huge statues, like America has huge statues of founding fathers. We have one in Washington, D.C. that we're seeing, MLK. As a matter of fact, I took a picture in front of him. And that's what we need to elevate our fathers. Big, huge statues. Everybody else have them. So that's what we need. That way we can freeze our fathers' memories in our minds with these huge statues. Maybe it's just a tactic, but that's what we need to elevate our fathers. Huge statues that can freeze in our brain, and we can remember, hey, that's our father, MLK. That's our father. We don't have enough of those huge statues. Other people have huge statues, but we just don't have enough. And we, like I said, I've seen one that was the MLK statue. It's probably more, but that's the one that I've seen. And another attribute I think uh, for fathers is forgiveness. I think when we hear the great prayers of men in the Bible, it says, forgive us of our sins and forgive the sins of our fathers. See, let the truth told. We need our fathers, so we have to forgive them for their sins, because our fathers are the one who protect us. They keep people from coming in and breaking in the door. If you have a father present, he's going to stand up for you. And that's what we need, a safe haven from our fathers. When you hear about the huge statues again from our founding fathers, the statues are so huge, and like I said before, they freeze the memory. And we need to do the same for our fathers. Freeze the memory and remember that Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all our fathers, Noah. If it wasn't for Noah, nobody would be here. So we need huge statues. We need a huge statue of Moses because he did so much. But we don't are missing. We have these other monuments that are frozen in the people's mind, but we have other monuments that get neglected that are very, very important. Of course, Noah is important. Moses is important, because they shaped the world. But so therefore, we need to identify them by making them and honoring them as a huge statue in our minds until we can get the replication in the present. We have to keep that in our mind, a huge statue of our fathers. And some of the American founding fathers, if you don't know it or not, they were wicked, man. They were wicked. Our fathers were wicked. Matter of fact, Noah, the father of the human race, that's what the Bible called it. Noah got drunk and was buck naked. He did not want, he got drunk, he was buck naked, but he had 3 sons. Noah, they put all the animals on the boat and made the new world. God flooded the world, and now we have to have a new world. So after that, Noah had got drunk, and he was buck naked, and his sons, or one of his sons, did not want to expose his father. So his son forgave his father in the spirit, and his son took a cloth and walked backwards to cover his father. He did not want to see his father nakedness. No, that's my father. And he just walked backwards to cover his father up. So he took that spirit and said that, hey, that's my father, regardless of what he did or how he got him. I don't want nobody to see him naked. I'm going to protect him. So you cover your father up because of his role and his function, that his function in the family. So sometimes, people are wicked. Hell, the founding fathers, they were wicked, but they have huge statues of them. So why come we can't have huge statues? And because of Noah's role and because of Noah's function for the new world, you know what? We would not be here today. So why not protect your father in his drunken state, showing his everything by covering him up? His son did not want to look at his father naked. He wanted to hurry up and protect him and cover him up because he is the father of us. Without him, we all would not be here. So you have to show some gratitude. Again, another story, Abraham, a great man of God. That's what God said, Abraham. He slept with a maid and had a legitimate child, and we still call him the father of our nation. See, he did those wicked things, but we still call him the father of our nation. And when they found God, when those guys found God, God changed their lives. And also he changed some of these people's names. And it made them new. But people still want to bring up the fact that these people past is not good. That it and they just think, they bring up the bad stuff of these people past. But yet they still call them the father of the nation. So you have to honor those folks, because if it wasn't for Noah, we wouldn't be here, and you just got to honor that. You wouldn't be here. So you have to just thank God that he transformed them people at a later time. And those are some of the things I want to emphasize for the attributes of a good father. Even though they had wicked stuff or they did wicked things. Well, look at these statues around here. These people here did wicked things, and they got statues, and that freezes their image in our people mind. Saying that, yeah, they great. The bigger you are, the bigger the statue, you great. But yet and still, they did do some wicked things. So we have to forgive them. Because if it wasn't for Noah, the whole nation would be here. So and forgiveness means just, hey, your father has some shortcomings, just cover him up. Don't that's my father, doggone it. I'm not gonna let y'all see him like that. Have some pride and stuff. Instead of letting the world see everything that's going on. You have to have some pride because that's what other folks done. They people were wicked. They got them monumentalized forever, frozen in their minds. And so Father Day, you have to protect our fathers, because they are protectors. And like some of our young men, they out here in the streets, robbing, looting, or showing aggression, or showing a lot of big confidence, and if you transfer those attributes or that they have, or qualities that they have, transfer them into your household, well, I don't think you have any problems if you transfer all that aggression that our young men have into a family setting. Man, your family will be unstoppable. So we just got to find a way to transfer that aggression. And one way is to just be there for our younger folks, because our youth is our future, and we have to be there for them to transform them, because they are in the role of out there, whatever they're doing. They're in the role of the blind leading the blind. You don't want your children to go out there because they will be affected by the blind leading the blind. You want to teach them at home, so when they go out there, they'll be like, oh no, I have a father and a mother to go back to, and realize that what you're trying to show me, that's because you don't have the good stuff that I have at my home. So that's why we need fathers to be the enforcer. And we don't have that, but we have to get the fathers back to where they need to be. And the way to do that is to go back and teach them the right way, because don't let them intimidate you just because they don't know what's going on. They blind, man, and they'll lead you blindly. They really don't know what's going on. Somebody has to help and teach them. You have to go out there and get them and get a hold of them and show them the right things to do. Not cover up, not continue to go along with the program. No, you have to change this stuff. You have to be strong, a man, and go out there and change it and say, no, that's not the right way to do it. And and those are my, I think, 5 attributes that I had for Father's Day.
Thank you, Mr.
And
Bright. That was wonderful.
that's what we need to do.
Inspirational. You said a lot of things that need to be said. And I appreciate you being here and speaking about men and being fathers on Father's Day. 2021, I really appreciate it. You just don't know how much, because um, you're a man, and it takes a man to be able to have these discussions and to be able to form and tell and inspire the younger generation, or even other men and fathers out there, to be great and to do great things and continue to be leaders and men that we look up to, in our culture. So I really appreciate it. And I thank you for being such a great father, and happy Father's Day to you too.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes,
So that you have,
um,
go ahead.
men just have to go ahead.
I'm listening to you.
No, I just
Go
said
ahead.
men has to take control of the narrative. Yeah, I just said men have to take control of the narrative and bring things. Well, men have to take control of the narrative so we can get out of the curse that we are in. We have the ability, we have the technology, and we can do it. We just have to tap into it, and not have that, things are going like they used to go because we have the means to get out of it. We just have to tap into it and go ahead and locate those means to get out of it. It's up to you to find. We have the means. It's out there. Just go get them and then use them. Go ahead.
All right. I was just gonna say, did you have anything else to say about that topic? Because once you conclude your session and topic about fathers and Father's Day and men for 2021, um, which is so inspirational. Once again, I'm gonna go into my quote for tonight, and then after that, we're gonna go into our final words. So, anything else, Mr.
Okay,
Bright?
that sounds good. Yeah, that's all I have for right now. No, that's it for now.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You said a lot, and a lot need to be said about what's going on um, with our men in this day and age, especially as Black people and American African Americans. It's a really tough subject and something that needs to be talked about and spoke about just as much as they talk about Black women and and children too. So I appreciate you taking out the time today and speaking about that and touching on that subject, as touchy as it is. You're right. Nobody's perfect. So we should be showing love and celebrating regardless of what's going on in our lives personally. If it's good or bad, hey, it's a day to celebrate. Just like Juneteenth, regardless of what happened in the past, and regardless of what's going on right now, it's a day to celebrate, and we need to celebrate just like every day we need to be celebrating life. You know. All right. So I'm going to go into my quote, and my quote is: "One day is not enough to honor how special of a father you truly are because you're amazing every day of the year. Thank you to all the fathers out there. Thank you for all that you do." And any final words, Mr. Bright?
Oh yes, I came up with something else, some final thoughts.
Uh huh.
Uh, yes, my final thoughts are there's nothing new. They said that there's nothing new under the sun. So these things have happened before. Like I mentioned before, our forefathers, Noah and all those guys, they had wicked stuff going on too. But you know what? They were God chosen people, and they were men. So that tells you that hey, nobody's perfect. There's nothing new under the sun. And my final thoughts
Exactly.
are that. So
Exactly.
my final thoughts are men's are men. I think men are over mothered and under fathered. I think the women have the children for 9 months in the womb. They go to school, and your teachers are more likely to be women. You go to the hospital, and your nurses are more likely to be women. And our children are our future. We need those young men with the confidence and the aggression and the tenacity that are out there in our streets to come back to the home and put that same confidence and aggression to teach their children how to be self-sufficient and rely on the family unit, because the peoples out in the streets are more than likely are the blind, like I said before, the blind leading the blind. So therefore, I think,
Mm.
keep, you know, I think you should keep your father's name alive
Mm-hmm.
by naming them and honoring them. So therefore, judge our fathers for their roles and functions and not their personalities. So I'm
Okay.
saying that I had thought before that I would not name my kid after my father, but I will name my kid after my father, because I just said we need to keep our father's name alive by naming and honoring our fathers. And I
Exactly.
also think that um, I think that your presence, our presence as men in our children's lives, gives our children the validation that they don't have to find in the streets. The most important thing I think right now is to pay attention. Uh, uh, we as fathers are capable to watch our children, logically capable to watch our children, and say that you can say to your children, "Hey, I see you out there. I see the problem that you're having, and I'm going to curb that problem right now to get you back to where you need to be." And that's what fathers do. And I think a lot of fathers need to try that. And just the fact of you saying to your child, after you found a way to get to your child, just say, "I love you, and I'm watching you." And I just think that those two phrases a lot of difference. I think also that the people in the street that say, "I got your back, I got you," but I really think ain't nobody really got you like your daddy got you. When you love your child and you understand the pains of life, you'll fight for your child and your family. You'll fight, fight, fight. And those are my final thoughts.
Thank you, Mr. Bright, once again for such inspirational, motivational words about Father's Day and about how powerful the men in our lives are. Not just the fathers, they're very, very important, fathers and dads, but just men, period, very powerful. And with that being said, I'm going to do an acronym since it's Father's Day. F is forever with his family. A is for always there for you no matter what. T is for the only one who's there. H is for he's my hero till the end. Ooh, that's powerful. E is for encouraging in
Powerful.
everything I do. And R is for really the only one. No one can beat him. He's the best. Happy Father's Day. So that concludes our episode for tonight. Thank you again for your time, Mr. Bright, and everyone that tuned in and that's going to be listening to this after the fact of the recording. Thank you guys for stopping by and listening to our episode. Um, Everyone, make sure to tune in to our next episode and any gameplays that we have on Twitch TV. And make sure you follow and subscribe. This concludes our episode for tonight. Thank you again for tuning in, everyone, and have a great night. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
We out.
We finished.